Sadness and happiness, positivity and negativity, both are often talked about. But what about the times when whatever one is feeling seems to not fit in either category? Especially in the past, I have often experienced simply feeling numb. Moments when good and bad feel kind of the same, and you don't feel sad, but you are also not happy. For me, it feels like my life is a movie I'm watching as an outside person, but I don't feel I'm actually there. This makes it hard to stay motivated or really do anything then, because goals, excitement for life, or even my future just don't feel very important. People around me feel far away and I'm having conversations, but they are mostly tiring and distant. Most things just feel meaningless. It's gotten much better for me, but this is something that I've experienced a lot, especially in more difficult phases of my life. I had times where I would feel like this for weeks on end, and the interesting part about this is that it's not really very visible to the outside because I was still fully functioning in the world and with people, and so if you didn't know me very well, you wouldn't even notice. But for me on the inside, it was really difficult to navigate, and I still experience this, but over time I have really been able to understand it much better and also find much better ways to improve the situation rather than make it even worse. And so to start this conversation today, I would like to share a few of these things that help me whenever I'm feeling like this. The biggest thing that I've realized is that a lot of the times this will happen when I haven't checked in with myself in terms of how I'm doing and how I'm feeling for way too long, and I've just been continuously distracted, either because there's just a lot going on or because I have chosen to distract myself, maybe without even realizing a lot of the times. For me personally, to prevent this or also just make sure that I'm not just only catching it once it's way too late, I really like to journal, or what works even better for me is meditation. But either way, both of these tools are great because they create a space where there are no distractions and you are really sitting with yourself. Your life is wonderful, you are wonderful, and whatever you want to achieve in your life matters. That is something that I continuously try to remind myself of because it is so important, but I also know that when one feels disassociated from life, it can be really difficult to get things done and stay motivated and focused because there is not really a driving force running you in that moment. You kind of feel like, I'm gonna do this, but like, for what? I feel that goals and life experiences, they just become really unimportant because it just really feels like, for what? Like, what the fuck is going on, and for what am I doing anything? In that moment, become your own driving force. I have really found a lot of benefit in doing things that remind me of all of the excitement that I have within me and all of the goals that I want to achieve and all of the things that I want to do in my life and all of the places I want to see, even if in that moment I do not feel it. And there are a lot of things that one can do for that, visualizing, vision boards, writing lists, or just being creative in that way, but really reminding yourself of all of the things you want to experience for your life and all of the things you are excited that are to come. And again, sometimes if it's bad, that will take a little bit of work because in that moment you don't feel like doing anything. But I have found that if I sit with myself long enough and I make enough vision boards and I write enough lists, eventually some part of my brain will be like, oh, okay, I remember that there was something there in terms of what I want to achieve for my life. This feeling can be so individual, but I have realized and learned that mostly feeling numb doesn't happen because you have actually stopped feeling. Below it all are mostly just a lot of other things and emotions that don't have the space to be seen, and very often this is the case with sadness. The times when I was in the most pain were the times where I felt this the most. Some part of me just didn't know how to handle it, or maybe I was just tired of whatever I felt. I find a lot of the times when most other things don't really make a lot of sense in terms of the world and people, there is something about nature that makes sense in a very unexplainable way. And it also just really connects you with yourself because there are no distractions in that moment, and it just has this energy of just being, because nature just is. One would logically think that having fun is something that everybody likes doing and everybody enjoys. But for me, and I know this goes for a lot of people, when I feel like this, I don't want to do anything. Like, doesn't matter if it's fun or not. I do not feel like doing anything. But again, here, I've really found benefit in almost forcing myself to do things that I know I find fun. But also here, there's a big difference between doing things that you think are fun and they will just distract you even more, maybe going out to party and stuff like that, and then doing things that are actually fun and really inspire your soul and your well-being and your happiness. Dancing in your room with your favorite song, or going to a dance class that you really enjoy, or watching funny videos online. Like these simple, more beautiful moments of joy, I feel like that helps really a lot, much more than big moments. Big moments oftentimes just make it even worse. At the base of all of this, I think it's really important to just be okay with whatever is in that moment. All of these points are solution oriented and something that one can do to improve things, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with that state and now go and fix it. I have found it to be really important to just be okay with whatever is in that moment and however I am in that moment, meanwhile still knowing that I deserve to be happy, and I will do everything I can to remind myself of that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.